Hey, I'm Good at Games, and this video is brought to you by honey. Put it on toast, attract bears, or slather it on your body to prolong your expiration date. There's no end to the fun with good old honey. When it comes to games about child squid hybrids weaponizing their own bodily fluids, Splatoon 2 is easily in my top 5. So naturally, I was pretty disappointed when new updates stopped rolling out. While support may have only lasted a couple of years, quite a lot happened in that time. The amount of content has increased tenfold. We got to voice our opinion on important issues like mayo versus ketchup or which race is the best. And most importantly, it's allowed well-rounded individuals from all over the world to share their thoughts and inspire others, building a gaming community that will surely go down as the most influential social medium in history. But this video isn't really about Splatoon 2. It's about Beatz. Squid Beatz. 2? You can find this hot piece of game tucked away near the arcade, in between the depressing crane machine and this nonsensical dancing game. Look, the arrows don't even go anywhere. It's not even a game, why would you play this? How do you play this? But yeah, Squid Beatz 2. If you're gifted with numbers, you might know that 2 comes after 1, meaning this is a sequel. You see, the original Splatoon, or Splo 1 for short, had its own share of minigames. Squid Jump, which was a freebie, and 3 others that could be unlocked via the Splatoon amiibo set, before there were like 5. Among those 3 games was Squid Beatz 1, and it was awful. I mean, it was a rhythm game where the notes didn't sync up to the music. I'm obsessed with rhythm games and even I hated it. So fast forward to Splatoon 2 and the other 3 minigames have been reduced to background props while we're only left with a sequel to Squid Beatz. I'm happy to report that it at least works this time, but how much better is it? Like I mentioned earlier, this is a rhythm game. Notes scroll from the right and your goal is to hit them as they pass in time with the music. This particular setup is extremely similar to the TAIKO no Tatsujin series. You have 2 types of basic notes corresponding to either face buttons or triggers, and then there's more advanced notes that require pressing those 2 button types together in varying combinations. It's extremely simple to figure out and feels satisfying to play, which is the basis of any good rhythm game. The normal difficulty can offer a decent challenge, but there's also a hard version of every song if you dare. One nice touch is that different buttons make different sounds, so you can pick your favorites or even freestyle some sweet custom remixes. You know what this song could use? More clapping. One common factor in these types of games is flashy presentation. There's always something going on in the background, explosions of light and anime characters dancing around tickling each other. Even if you can't really look at all that stuff while playing, it's a big part of the experience and helps inject an extra dose of ADHD into the genre. Squid Beatz 2 on the other hand gives us black. No cool visualizers, no light, no hope, only cold, oppressive darkness. Little Bobby there might be doing his best to raise the mood, but it's not enough. In the game's defense, it does occasionally try to give you a seizure as a reward for doing well, so that's something, I guess. It's just a mini-game, so I'm not expecting much, but this is a little too on the minimal side. What's worse than the lack of visual variety is the absence of basic game mechanics. Replaying songs to get higher scores is a huge part of rhythm games. Unfortunately, Squid Beatz 2 doesn't keep track of your score at all. In fact, the only thing it does keep track of is perfect runs, meaning no missed notes. You get a silver squid for hitting every note, and a golden squid for hitting every note perfectly. This means that the average player won't get any sort of feedback for finishing a song. And because there's no life meter, missing one note and missing every note has the same outcome. That's no good. Squid Beatz' biggest advantage is that it doubles as a sound test, so all music in the main game can be played in the minigame, giving it an impressive number of songs, more than a lot of standalone games. Aside from a few standout tracks, I like but don't love the music in Splatoon. That said, I really respect how distinct it is. Like if you're walking around JCPenney and some Splatoon music comes on, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's totally a Splatoon if I've ever heard one, and then maybe pick out a nice dress and go on with your day. It's also awesome how each song is played by a real fictional band in the Splatooniverse. They had to sit down and design all these cool characters that you don't even get to see in the game. That kind of stuff really ties the world together. Also, as more songs were added to Splatoon 2, they were incorporated back into Squid Beatz 2, so both games evolved alongside each other, which is pretty cool. Anyway, let's do a quick recap. Squid Beatz 2, while a definite improvement over the original, lacks a lot of heart that most rhythm games have. It's still fun to pick up every now and then, and the track list is great, but overall it's pretty average by minigame standards. That's why it gets a C. Actually, some of the songs are locked behind amiibos, and that's pretty jank, so make that a C-. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more reviews along with various other things, subscribing and commenting is always appreciated. Unless your name is Kyle. See you next video.